Jordan, what's up, my friend? Here we are
What's up?
again.
Here
Uh,
we are again.
another
Um,
year, same old stuff. Talking about week one, our first live show of the week of the 2024 season, first post game live, and here we are talking about a blowout of Clemson football once again. It went nothing like I hoped it would go, and we got a lot to talk about. But it's good to see you in here.
yeah, man. I was thinking like throughout the game, just watching it transpire. I was like, man, they're gonna kill me. This is kind of the risky run when you call your shot. So I mean, I don't have the comment section up right now, but we'll get into it. I know they're cooking right now. Um,
Yep.
there's Georgia fans, Clemson fans alike. Um, but that is what it is. You know, it kind of set the stage. Like we acknowledged in the preview show that this was going to be. I mean, this was a possibility. Like we both felt like Clemson was going to be competitive in this game,
Yep.
and that prediction was looking pretty good through two quarters, despite not looking the way we thought it would.
Right.
But you just kept waiting and waiting for some sort of life, some sort of semblance of an offense to show up in this game, and it just didn't. I mean, were when you were down, when you drove down the field down 13-0, and you were in that red zone, that was the moment in the game where if you didn't score a touchdown, Georgia was going to feast,
That was it.
and that was the ball game essentially, because you can only, I mean, it's the same things we talked about last year. You can only ask the defense to do so much. They gave you every opportunity to make this a competitive game, and there wasn't even in like an inkling of like maybe you'll actually take advantage of those opportunities. But we'll talk about it. A lot of things I disliked about the game, obviously, but I want to start with a couple positives, because the negatives certainly outweigh, and we'll dive all into that. But what were some of the positive things that I'll let you go first? What were some of the positives on either side of the ball that you saw?
Positive. I got to start on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
Obviously, that front seven for Clemson is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. Um, you could ask Georgia about it. It absolutely is a stifling defense. If only they had help, it would be dominant.
yeah,
But that front seven, that particularly the front four, I was really happy with. I think the linebackers got some room for improvement from this game. I think they made quite a bit of mistakes. The linebacking crew, which I didn't foresee happening, but that front four was elite today. Another highlight is Avion Terrell is the real deal.
oh
Um,
yeah,
the real deal. Uh,
yeah. He was.
we knew that already, but he confirmed it again today. The real deal. I thought Jaden Lucas played pretty well today. It was good to see him out on the field. It was good to see him get through an entire game. I don't know that I've ever seen Jaden Lucas get through a whole game, but he did. So I think those were some bright spots from the defensive side of the ball. As far as the offensive side of the ball, Phil Maffa, I think did well today. I think he did the best with what he was given today, which was not very much running room at any point in time. But he was physical, he was downhill, and he showed his ability to be a really good running back if we can just give him the space to run the ball. Granted, you're going against a very elite Georgia defense, and they proved to be too much in the end as their offense got rolling. Another bright spot, I think, Jake Brenningstool. We got to get that guy involved early and often in the offense. He's just a mismatch nightmare. And the one handed catch that he had, the catches across the middle, the physical plays that he had after he caught the ball, just not giving up, trying to get extra yardage. I think he was a bright spot today. And then the last guy I'll mention is Antonio Williams. He he looked exactly like I thought he would look. He looked very quick out there. His routes looked good. He made some contested catches. He made those signature slants across the middle that he's known for. And I think that he looks confident. He looks like he's fully back and healthy from his injuries that he sustained last season that pretty much kept him out all year. So that's good to see. So there was a couple bright spots to the offensive side of the ball. And that front four of the defense, give them a huge shout out. They played their hearts out there today. And unfortunately, the offense couldn't get anything going for them. So those are my positives for the game today.
Yeah, you kind of hit on all of them. One other positive that I was pleasantly surprised with was, especially in the first half, I felt the offensive line held up really, really well. I mean, Cade Klubnik was not pressured a ton in that first half. It really didn't get till the latter stages of the game where it was very obvious that Clemson needed to pass the ball downfield, where Georgia was able to pin their ears back and get some pressure on Cade. But I felt like in the early stages of this game and throughout that first half, I thought they matched Georgia's physicality up front. I didn't feel like they were overwhelmed like in the 2021 game where like Georgia sent 3 guys and got home to DJ and it was a sack fest. Like that was not what this game was. So I thought we saw some improved physicality from that group, and surely that's credit to Matt Luke and that aspect. We'll see. The injury to Marcus Tate is concerning. We'll kind of see what comes out of that. That about does it. I think we covered all the positives in this game. Oh, Nolan Hooser. Nolan Hooser made his first field goal.
He made his first field goal, so shout out to him.
It was a chip shot, but it went right through it didn't look crazy.
Hey, look here, chip shots were not gimmies.
They were not guarantees last year
for Clemson. So
no.
I'll take it. It looked good. He looked comfortable. So hopefully that'll continue, and that question will be answered as the season goes on for Clemson. But all right, guys, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the rest of what we need to talk about. I hate seeing that score up there, but in true fashion, we're going to keep it up there all episode, okay? So, Jordan, let's go ahead and get into what we saw, and let's break this game down in chunks, I think is the best way to do it. Let's go ahead and first half and then really the second half, because at the end of the day, this game was truly a tale of two halves, and the dam kind of broke as we went into the third quarter. So talking about the first half, at least for me, I think the Clemson defense played well. What were your thoughts watching this game in the first half? Again, we went to halftime. Georgia was up 6-0. The defense had played well. The offense really hadn't moved the ball very well. But at that point in time, as a Clemson fan, you had to feel pretty well about the position that your team was in. So what were your thoughts about the first half and how Clemson played both offensively and defensively, and how Georgia played as well?
Yeah. I mean, really we got to start with the first drive of this game, because I think Clemson, everything that could have possibly gone wrong for that first drive, did go wrong as far as setting the tone. I think, because Clemson won the toss, like they had the opportunity and they elected to receive. They elected to receive in the first half. So clearly there was some kind of they wanted to send some kind of message, like whatever the script was, and first play you get a legal motion penalty, or I don't remember what the sequence it was, but you had the first play was the little bootleg to Phil Maffa that
I got you. I got all the plays written down if you want.
Okay, cool. It was to Phil Maffa that Cade just completely it was supposed to be an easy completion, easy pitch and catch. Phil Maffa gets running in space.
Yep.
Well, bad ball. Maybe I'd have to go back and watch it, but I thought maybe Phil could have caught that. It would have been a tough catch, but
it was a bad pass.
But it was mostly a bad pass.
It should have been a very easy pass to kind of get the nerves out of Cade and get a positive play. And if you look at the play, if Cade would have made a good pass, Phil Maffa probably would have picked up a first down on that play.
Yeah. There was a lot of he had a lot of space to work with.
Separation there, and he would have probably, if not gotten a first down, he would have gotten close to a first down. And then that second play was that illegal motion that you were talking about by Adam Randall.
Yeah. Well, I'll save that. And so then you have first play, bad pass.
Yeah, bad pass.
That is what it is. Second play, illegal motion by Adam Randall. The third play, you get a nice play over the middle to Jake Brenningstool that he just flat out drops.
Just dropped it. Yep.
Like routine catch, routine pitch and catch. So like those first three plays, like alone, like really, not even first three plays, but first three like sequences.
Yep.
That set the tone for the rest of the game. I think they had a plan going in, and the moment that they got off script in that first drive, they looked completely lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, then it was I think Georgia got an offside penalty or something, but
yes,
the third down pass, the third down play was just a short pass to Phil Maffa that was blown up,
like a 2-yard out in the flat pass to Phil Maffa that was meaningless, and then here comes Aiden Swanson out to punt the ball.
Yeah. So like I think that first drive would just told us everything about kind of how that game was going to go, especially in retrospect. And I had so many questions, like just about the overall philosophy heading into this, just in this game, and kind of the mentality that not just the players, but the coaching staff, Garrett Riley, and his play calling, like what were they trying to accomplish? Because it felt like they were calling plays just to call them. There wasn't really any sort of rhyme or reason to what they were doing. And I have a ton of issues with the personnel usage in this game, the personnel groupings, especially after that first drive. Like Adam Randall, we've talked about him ad nauseum this offseason about kind of what him blossoming into the receiver that we all hoped he would mean for this offense, and the ceiling of this receiving core, and what it would mean for Cade. You're a third-year player. You can't be. You're a third-year player. You can't be lining up incorrectly, illegal motion, whatever the case may be. Like that's stuff that freshmen are supposed to make. Those are mistakes that freshmen are supposed to make.
Yeah.
And you've talked about how this is the best you've ever felt, and the staff was raving about him and what he's done in fall camp. But I don't. Today didn't show me anything. That's for sure. Just really, really disappointing from your older guys in that receiver room, other than Antonio Williams. And so Adam Randall, Cole Turner. I mean, we have you out there because you're supposed to be the fastest player on the team. You're supposed to be a deep threat, but you're out there quitting on routes. Mm-hmm. Like you have a step on your defender, and you're out here quitting on routes before, and you're not tracking the ball.
Yeah, how do you not see the ball?
Right.
Like, how are you out there running a go route on the sideline? You're 2 steps in front of your man, and you don't see the ball coming your way, so you just stop running.
Because he's not. He's just running. He's just running down. He's like he has the track speed. You see the speed on tape, but he doesn't actively look for the football. It's like, what's the point of running? What's the point of running that go ball if you're not going to turn and look for the football? Cade is trying to give you an opportunity, and like if you're not tracking the football, you're not going to be able to run to wherever Cade throws it. Like it's on you to be able to adjust. Like you're not going to get a perfect ball that's just going to fall in your lap without looking. So I had so many questions about why you continued to play players that weren't that were actively, costing you drives
Yep.
and costing you big plays. Like, why did it take so long to see Tyler? If Tyler Brown was non-existent in that first half,
don't
I'll
think he
have
was
to go
on the
back and look
field.
how many times he was actually on the field, but it didn't feel like he was on the field all that much.
I don't remember seeing Tyler Brown until, I mean, and it could be just because they didn't go to him, they didn't throw the ball. He could have been on the field. But the first time you ever had a Tyler Brown sighting was the last play of the third quarter when he caught that ball.
Yeah. And there was no effort to get him the football.
Yeah.
That was my
He had zero targets.
yeah.
I know he had 0 targets up until that point, which is unacceptable. That's your leading receiver from last season. Why is he not being targeted until the last play of the third quarter when you're already, it's getting out of hand against Georgia? Why is that the first time we see Tyler Brown?
Right.
Why is Cole Turner out there on the field? I mean, nothing against Cole Turner at this point, but like, I'm done with that experiment, dude. I'm done. Yeah, I get it. Fastest player on the team, cool. Doesn't make you a good receiver. I'm sorry. And there's nothing against him, and I get it, but no, I don't want to see it anymore.
Like, Georgia's defensive backs, they played well in this game, but like they were not flat out just like dogging you. Like you saw, especially when they showed those wide shots and replays, you saw guys get steps, have a step like that play that go ball to Cole Turner, the go ball to Adam Randall. That was an underthrown ball, but you still have to be able to fight back for it hit Adam Randall in the chest.
Yeah.
And they initially called pass interference, but they removed, which I thought was a good call by the refs. They like that. That was pretty. That was just pretty good coverage. Pretty good. Even though the DB didn't really turn around, they were both kind of fighting, so I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So it's just like you have these third-year players that you are raving about all fall camp, all off season, and they come out and they make freshman mistakes. Like, it's like, okay, I don't expect you to. I didn't expect Adam Randall to have an 8-catch, 150-yard, 2-touchdown type performance in this game. It would have been nice. I didn't expect Cole Turner to hit, just to completely torch every single Georgia defensive back and look unstoppable out there. But the plays that we recruited you to make, you're not making, and you're actively being a liability in some instances with the penalties and stuff. So it's like, if you're not going to give effort, fighting for the football, if you're going to quit on your routes, like, why are you out there?
Yeah.
Like, what do we have you out there? I would have Garrett Riley and Tyler Grisham, they talked about how Bryant Wesco was basically a starter. How much did we see of him until the fourth quarter?
I didn't see him until the fourth quarter.
Right.
Now,
they said that Bryant Wesco they considered Bryant Wesco a starter.
Where was Troy Stellato at? Did you see Troy Stellato on the field today?
He was non-existent.
Where the hell was Troy Stellato at? And if he was on the field, he never got targeted. I didn't see Brian Wesco on the field until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I mean, Tyler Brown, I didn't see him until the end of the third.
Yep.
What are we doing? TJ Moore, I didn't see him till the fourth quarter. Why? The other dudes weren't getting it done. I mean, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, I truly don't understand. I get Antonio Williams. He was on the field all day. He should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely should be. But number 22, I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's doing on the field all day. Like, he's a starter. If he is.
Look, I didn't see it. I don't see it. I don't see, like, it.
You're telling me he's better than Tyler Brown?
Right. Your speed does nothing if you don't know how to use it. If you're just great, you can run in a straight line, but you can't fight you can't look for the football. You're quitting on routes. Like, what? So that first half. Well, I mean, really the entire game, the receivers not named Antonio Williams, and the personnel decisions with the receivers, they get an F. I
Yeah.
agree. I think Antonio Williams is the only. I think if I had to like, it's not fair to separate Antonio Williams, but like Antonio Williams is the only thing from keeping that overall grade from an F. It would be like a D minus or a D, like because man, it was just unimpressive. And we talked in, I drank I drank the Kool-Aid on this receiver room,
Yep.
and they came out and didn't show me anything to get excited about. And listen, I do want to preface this. This is it's a long season. Like you and I have talked about, like, no matter what happens in this game, we're not going to extrapolate, too far into the future.
Yeah.
But what we
It's not
wanted
fair.
to see in this game was Clemson looked like they belong on the field. And the offense did not look like they belonged in that game.
No.
And when the defense realized they weren't getting any help, and Georgia made really good adjustments in that second half, it was over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
yeah,
halftime adjustments from Georgia, absolutely. They put it together in the second half. They got their offense going. They found the holes, and they found their way to move the ball against Clemson. And then from then on, it was effortless for their offense. And I hate to say it, but part of that is the defense knows the offense ain't got their back.
yep.
They know they ain't going to go out there and score. So it's hard to get up every single drive and just be on the field constantly against that elite offense, knowing that your offense is over there. And as soon as they get on the field, they ain't going to get it done. They may get a first down or two, and they're going to be punting the ball again. That's tough. So for me, the first half ultimately came down to how the half started. Penalties, right? Shooting yourself in the foot. You went through that kind of progression that we went through. First play of the game should have been a gimme. Should have been a first down. First play. Swing pass to Maffa. He was wide open. Cade muffed the throw. Threw it in the dirt. Looked like DJU out there, right? But second play of the game, illegal motion. Adam Randall backing up again, or backing the offense up. Drop pass by Brenningstool right over the middle. Offsides, bailed out by UGA with an offsides, and then a 2-yard pass to Maffa, punt. You couldn't have started worse.
Yeah.
And by the way, it didn't get better as
Other than a
the third half
turnover.
went on. It didn't get better.
Yeah.
First, second drive of Clemson's first half, right? First play, holding. Second play, Maffa had a good run. Third play, first down run by Maffa. All right, we survived that penalty, that shot in the foot, right? Fourth play, 33-yard run from Maffa. Fifth play, throwaway pass. Sixth play, slant, punt. There you go. There's your first two drives. Again, hampered by penalties, hampered by poor execution, hampered by too many plays behind the line of scrimmage. That was our first half. Our first half.
That throwaway, hold on, and wasn't that throwaway the play where Adam Randall was running and he was supposed to settle, and he kept running his route, and he ran right into a play. They were in zone. Like, you're supposed to settle. Like, that's something that especially being your second year in the system, third year overall in the program, that's something you should know how to do is settle in a hole in the zone. And so you saw Dabo chewing Adam Randall out on the sideline. Like, again, another instance of you making of one of your older receivers making freshman mistakes. And we got it's pretty disappointing. I don't know who to point the blame at or point the finger at. I mean, you have to look. It starts with their position coach, Tyler Grisham. They did not look prepared outside of one player, and Garrett Riley didn't do them any favors as far as scheming up easy completions and easy yardage. And that was really the difference in this game. Georgia didn't do anything like dynamic offensively. Like, they weren't just like bombs away. That was pretty limited, but they did a good job of getting their playmakers the ball. And whenever easy yardage presented itself, they were able to take advantage of it. Whether it was a quick slant, or whether it was using one of their quicker players, like an Arian Smith on an end around, or a pop pass, or Dylan Bell using the same in the same instance, and just getting easy yardage to get you ahead of the chains. Like we didn't do that. Like you talk about that first play, the first drive, that was the kind of stuff that Georgia was doing. But once we did it, and the first time we did it, and we completely messed up, we didn't complete the pass. We're like, oh well, I guess we can't do that anymore. And so then it was there was just a lack of creativity and a lack of identity, a lack of purpose for what what was being called. Like again, this is all just our raw reaction. I'm gonna go rewatch it as much as I don't want to, and kind of see what and kind of see what was going on from a more in-depth perspective, because you can only see so much on TV, and you only get to watch it once for most plays. So certainly, I probably missed stuff, but that's kind of what it felt like. It just felt like the same old Clemson offense. Lack of identity, lack of purpose, inability to even the easy stuff looks difficult. What should be easy stuff looks difficult. It didn't look good.
I mean, you look at, and I'll go through the third drive real quick, and I'll leave it there by calling out specific plays, but it just shows the poor execution that Clemson operates with. You get an third drive, right? That big explosive play down the sideline did Antonio Williams. Great catch.
The only big play of the night for you.
The only explosive play we hit all the game, but it was a nice play, right? And your thought is, watching the game, you're like, okay, all right, we got an explosive play. Now let's build on that, right? Then Jay Haynes comes in, loses a yard on the rush. Third play, short completion to Brenningstool. Fourth play, nice slant pass to Antonio Williams for a first down. Call back. Why? Because of a penalty.
Yeah.
Right? So shot yourself. If you had a first down, another first down, shot yourself in the foot, right? That's called back. Then you throw a nothing bubble screen to Antonio Williams with two dudes right there ready to tackle him, and then you punt the ball.
And that's one thing I did kind of notice watching. I have no reason to. I don't have any knowledge of this, but I think Clemson has a tell on those screens. I really do. Because I was watching Georgia's defensive backs, and they would every time a screen, I noticed that they had one DB would do this kind of hand signal and look back, whatever it was. I think Clemson has some sort of tell when it comes to their screen game, because Georgia was not fooled by it at all. Now and I'm sure Georgia certainly anticipated Clemson to run screens. That's a part of Garrett Riley's offense, but it just felt like they knew situationally when it was coming, and I think Clemson has a tell in there somewhere. Maybe a receiver. It might be something as little as a receiver's alignment or whatever. It's like, oh, that just kind of tips them off, but they looked like they were all over. They were all over Clemson's screen game. It didn't look like they were, because whenever we attempted them, there was no room, and they just seemed to be all over. It's like they were just sitting right on.
That's good coaching, right?
Yeah.
Picking up on cues, picking up on things that tip you off on what they're about to do, and clearly that was the case. It's just, for me, if I'm being honest, the only thing that improved on this Clemson offense was the offensive line. It's the only thing that showed any amount of improvement. Pass blocking was not bad today. And I know Georgia's had struggles recently of getting pressure on the passer, so maybe that's some of it as well. But I'm proud of how the offensive line held up in pass pro. Running the ball was okay at times and terrible at other times, right? It was tough running the ball against Georgia. You knew that coming in. You weren't going to come in here and run the ball very effectively against a team like Georgia. I think Clemson ended up with 46 total yards rushing, which is not very good. But I think Phil Maffa made the best of, not very many holes that he was given. And the pass pro, I think, looked improved for the offensive line. We'll see if that holds up and that holds true throughout the year. But again, there we go. Marcus Tate.
Yep.
He goes down. His backup comes in. Nothing against Colin Sadler. but almost immediately you feel the effect of not having Marcus Tate in the game
Yeah.
because they call a pull play,
Yeah,
and
that QB counter,
and
and
he just absolutely whiffs on that block. And if he would have made the block, Cade had room to go. Like he had room to run.
yeah, but you have
But
you have to make that block. Yeah,
he didn't even
you got to
touch the
seal
dude.
that
I'm
defender.
like, what? Like the dude shook him like he was like I don't like it wasn't even. Anyways, doesn't matter. You felt the effect of it. And that's unfortunate. I hope Marcus Tate's okay. Hopefully he can play next game because it's clear that the 5 guys that played today are the best offensive line we got. And the ones that come in after that, there is a significant drop-off. Just judging by what I saw today, and it wasn't just that one play because I was watching Colin Sadler after that. Yeah, we need Marcus Tate to get healthy. I hope whatever happened does not keep him out long term.
Yeah. All right. Let's people are we haven't really talked about Cade a ton.
Yep.
Let's just kind of let's dive into it.
Yeah,
I think Cade has improved. I think as far as like when I watched him especially in the first half, I felt like his decision making was considerably better. I don't think the play calling did him any favors, but I didn't see he didn't have the WTF throws that he had so many times last year. It wasn't really until the second half, he threw that he would throw that pick, but he was just trying to make a play at that point. But that was not the Cade Klubnik that we were promised as far as his improvement.
No.
And based on what had come out of fall camp, what had come out of spring, it's like watching this offense. Like I don't believe they were given like. It's hard for me to believe that they were like what. I can't say that like the people that are there were lying, but it's hard for me to see that offense giving Clemson's defense issues during the spring and fall. Like
stop it. That offense didn't do nothing to that defense in fall camp. I don't care. Look, I don't care what they say. Now, they may be lying. They may just be trying to pump it up. I don't really care what they're doing, but it wasn't true. I can tell you that. I do not care. No one will convince me at all that offense gave that defense any trouble in fall camp at all. Maybe they had a rough period here or there where the defense wasn't executing or that, but like consistently, you're going to tell me that offense that you just trotted out there against Georgia gave that same Clemson defense that trotted out there against Georgia problems? No. Because Georgia's offense is about a light year ahead of your offense, and they struggled to figure out Clemson. It took them an entire half to figure out how to consistently move the ball against Clemson's defense. And part of
that was with no help from the offense.
Yeah, and part of that was Clemson's defense was on the field for a significantly longer amount of time, and they were getting no scoring and no help from their offense.
Yeah.
So eventually the dam breaks, right? Which is what I texted you at halftime, right? I told you, I was like, hey, we got a chance here. The defense is playing great, but the offense has got to help because eventually Georgia's going to break through. And that's exactly what happened. Georgia broke through. Their offense is too good. Clemson's defense, for the most part, played about as well as they could play early in that game. Now, towards the end, they were giving up chunk plays and looked like they gave up a little bit, and stuff like that.
They were definitely worn down, and Georgia they smelled blood in the water, and they were.
Oh yeah. They were over cooked. From that point. They were completely cooked at the end of that game, and you could see it. But it's frustrating to watch the offense. Cade specifically, I think he's improved some. I won't say he hasn't improved at all. I think he's improved some. Has he improved to the point where he can take Clemson where they want to go?
No.
Judging off of this game and this game
not
alone,
based off of this game, no.
Based off of this game, which is all we have to go off of, Absolutely not. Not even close. Not even close. And he can't say that he was rushed this entire game and he didn't have time and all this. Yeah, I think the offensive line gave him plenty of time in this game to execute plays down the field.
Yeah.
They just didn't happen.
You had
You had to
you couldn't afford to be shut out in that first half like you were. Like
No.
you had to get
capitalize. When your defense was giving Georgia's offense all they wanted, that was when they were holding them to field goals and they were keeping them out of the end zone. That was Clemson's chance to score touchdowns and get on the board and put the pressure on Georgia. Instead, they pissed away the opportunity. They allowed it to just fall away. The defense gave you a shot in the first half. You had to put up points in that first half. And again, 2 games in a row, 8 quarters. What is that? 8 quarters now. Clemson's gone through and played Georgia and can't put up an offensive touchdown in 8 quarters.